Hello folks, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and we are in Python for data science module as we continue to explore Python libraries. Our today's topic of discussion is pandas. So we would explore the functions and the attributes of pandas that are required for data inspection along with the introduction to pandas. So let's start. What is pandas? Pandas is nothing but a powerful Python library that is used for data manipulation and analysis. It contains two main terminologies, that is data frame and a series. Data frame could be thought of as a spreadsheet or similar to SQL table, which contains two-dimensional label data structure. Okay, along with some columns, it may be of different types. Then there is something called as a series, which can be thought of as similar to a list or column in a particular table. So let's jump into the Colab notebook. So Pandas doesn't come up installed by default along with your basic Python. Okay. However, in Colab it's already installed. But if you are doing something on your machine or your machine won't have pandas installed, so you will have to install pandas and then import it. After to import, we have this command import pandas as pd is nothing but an alias name. So to demonstrate attributes and functions of pandas which are required for data inspection, I have taken this data set called as movies. All right, so how do we read the data? We use pd dot read underscore csv. If it is it's an excel file, it will be a different function. It will be read underscore excel or something. So it depends what kind of data are you looking for. Then I have a function called as df.head. Let's see what it returns me. Okay, if you could see here, it returns first 5 rows of the table so that you can have a look at it. Like in this particular case, we have movies. So there is a movie ID that is mentioned, and there is a budget, popularity, revenue, a title of a movie, vote average. This may correspond to the rating, vote count, then director ID, year, month, and day. So you can have a glimpse of what data is there in the data set with this particular df dot head and using df dot head function. Okay, so if I want say 10 rows, then I will just mention df dot head, and whatever number of rows I want, I can mention it here. So you would see this time around you will get 10 rows. Okay, first 10 rows. By default, it returns you first 5 rows. However, if you want to get more or any other more number of rows or maybe less number of rows, you can mention that number inside the parenthesis. Okay. Then similarly, you can also get last few rows. That is, if I do uh, df dot tell, this will give you last 5 rows by default. Okay. So you would see here these are last 5 rows. Then uh, there is something called as df.info, right? You would see what this will give you is the information about the data that is there with you. That is, it will give you what kind of data type it is. That is, it's a data frame, because whatever table-like structure in Pandas, we call it as data frame, and for a particular column, we call it as series, right? So it gives you the information of each and every column. These are the column names. Then it gives the non-null count. So there are total of 1465 values, and there is no null value inside it. And there are three types of data types in pandas, that is int64 or integer, float, and object. Okay, and no other. So if it is the data type should be either integer or float. If it is not that, then it will be considered as object. All right, and moving ahead, let's see, there is one more function, df.describe. What df.describe gives us is the statistics for numerical column. So you would see here for all the numerical columns, it has given me the statistics like count, mean, standard deviation, minimum, maximum, then the interquartile ranges, and so on. So Um, if I want, you would notice here though that it's only doing all this stuff for numeric columns. However, if I want to include the object data type as well, I will have to do a include all. So df dot describe, okay, inside the parenthesis I would mention include is equal to all. So I run this, you would see there are few more rows added over here, like unique, top, because those are of object data type, right? Um you cannot calculate mean for that. See here, look at this. For title you cannot calculate mean, right? For month you cannot calculate mean. So for all those non-numeric columns you cannot calculate mean. That's the reason you get the output of, you get this kind of output. That is, look at this: mean, standard deviation, minimum, all these ranges. It's not possible to calculate for what? For object data type. So I hope you understand what I mean by uh, object data type. It's a data type that doesn't have integer and float. Okay, so moving on to our um, next attribute that we will be checking is, we remember describe, when I am using this parenthesis, these are all the functions, all right? And I would also be showing you some attributes now. Like if I type in df dot d types here, it's an attribute. It will show all the data types, like data types of all the columns present in the data. Okay, so columns, or in terms of pandas, all the data types of the series that are there in the data frame. Okay, then df dot index. Let's see what df dot index gives you. So it will provide you with the range of where the index starts and where does it stop. Okay, after that, if I do df dot columns, it should return all the column names. Then there is something called as df dot shape. It will give me the shape of the dataset, that is 1465 rows and 11 columns. Then moving ahead, this is what are we doing by checking all this? This is something called as data inspection. So we are inspecting the data. We are checking all the uh, all the parameters of data with respect to inspection. So next one is, I would like to check if there is any null value, and also doing a sum of that null value. What will this return me? Oh, so there is null is a function. Yeah, you would see there is no null value. Otherwise, it would have returned me column wise sum. Okay. However, there is no null value here, so I don't get any output for this. So that is fine. Now moving ahead, let's say I want unique unique values in a particular column. So I would take this in our data. I would just take this to a df again. So I want unique values. So I will check it on year column, okay? Because I want unique values. Now in the year column, how to get the unique values? There is a function called as unique. So df, then that column name, who's that column name? Year, the function is unique. Look at this. These are all the years that are present in the data. Okay, these are all the they are repeated, but I have got the unique values. So in our data, these are all the years that are present. Then moving forward, if I want the count of unique values, what is the count of these values? Then there is one simple change here. Instead of unique, you just mention n unique. So it will return you the count. There are total of 41 unique values in the year column. Then if you want to do a value count, then you can do that as well. So df dot year, same thing, and I will do a value count. So value underscore counts. Okay. Oh my bad. It's a function. Look at this. So it will straight away give you which year appeared how many times. All right. So it returns the count of unique values in a particular column. Look at this. Yeah. So 2006 appeared maximum times in our data, then 2005, then 2002 accordingly. Let's move ahead with the next one. If you want some random rows from the data frame, then you can mention df dot sample random rows. How many rows do you want? Say you want some 8 random rows. So this will give you any 8 random rows. You would see, you would identify that with the index of the data. The indexes are very much random, so they have picked any random row. So that's about data inspection part for pandas. That's it for this video. We will meet in next video. Thank you.